Welcome to Table Talk Season 2. We're live here from our new studio at Basha High School. It's great to be back. We're excited to, finally get Season 2 going. I'm Jaden Ricken, sports broadcaster for the Basha Bear Network.
And I'm Gavin Wilson, news anchor for the BBN, and also an avid sports fan, as you can tell by the jacket.
And Gavin, can I just say, while we're here in the studio right now, last year we were searching for a spot.
Oh, it was like a trek every single week. We were walking around campus asking everyone, hey, is it okay if we film here? We get kicked out even if they said it was okay. So, it feels kind of nice here that we can just sit down in our own space and be able to record.
Exactly. Literally anywhere we would go, somebody would be using it. It could be they're using the garage, they're using outside the garage, they're using the basketball room, during school. During third hour, nobody's in there, and then suddenly somebody is, I have something.
Hey, maybe maybe in the hallway, maybe that would have been a better space. I don't know. Less people walking through.
Let me just say, though, we appreciate all of your guys' support because I don't think if the podcast did this well, we would be able to have this studio right now.
If season 1 did bad, we wouldn't be having a season 2 right now. So I feel like with our success, especially with STN last semester, we have to thank them as well for placing first in the podcast section of that. So, thank you guys.
That was a huge honor to win from STN, their spring national sports podcast. We won first place up against all the other sports podcasts in the entire country. So we want to give huge shout out to them for that award, and a huge shout out once again to all of our viewers for supporting us throughout our last season. We hope now that we're a lot more streamlined this season and a lot more organized. So we'll give you a brief rundown of what one of our shows may look like. Today we're going to go through our new episode segment, Campus Update, where we talk about Basha sports and then interview Basha athletes before we move on to our new Real World, Real Takes segment, where we talk about all the sports going on in the world, from the NFL to the MLB to tennis to swim. You name it, we got it.
Even underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a sport, but we'll get around to that.
Oh, don't worry. It'll be there. I'll talk about it.
Okay, all right. I'll put that down next
Okay,
episode.
all right. Make sure to jot it down, okay?
And then finally, we're bringing back a fan favorite from last season.
Oh, you know it.
Burnt Bear Take of the Week. Gavin, you give your hot take of the week, or we discuss a certain topic, a certain athletic topic.
We'll debate about it, too, because obviously we have differing opinions. We'll also revisit some of my old ones, such as the Falcons one from last year. We'll talk about that maybe in a later episode.
And stay tuned for that at the end of today's episode, because this is going to be our best one yet. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. But with that, let's get into our first episode segment of our new episode segment here, Campus Update. Joining us here on Campus Update today is the one and only Sam Garcia. Sam, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here.
Excited to finally be on the podcast. I know we were in talks last year a little bit about having you come on, so it was great that we were finally able to make it work and find a time for you to come on down.
Yep, glad to be here. It's a blessing.
How does it feel to be on the first episode in this brand new studio? More of a professional setting now.
It feels great. You guys have done a great job.
Appreciate it.
It seems like a place that could do some work.
Mm-hmm. Now let's get the audience to let them know who you are. So who are you as a person here at Basha?
Well, I like to think of myself as the big guy on campus. A lot of people know me. So I'm decent at school. I'm a great football player, and just committed to New Mexico State University. So I'll be there next year.
How's that feel, knowing that you have a set plan that you're going to continue playing football there?
Oh, it feels great. Having a home for next season, even the next 4 years. It's a blessing, and I'm just glad I get to play football for a lot longer.
That's awesome to hear.
And you mentioned that you play football here at Basha. Let the viewers know at home kind of what your journey with the team's been like for the past 4 years.
So my freshman year, I got put up to varsity. Didn't get a lot of playing time. We had a great offensive lineman before me. Some injuries happened. I started the last 3 games, even played in a playoff game. We unfortunately lost round 1, but since then, I've been a starter, and I've been all-region, all-state, a state champion. That's a good one right there, and
that's gonna be with you forever.
Yeah, I'll always be in history for that one.
And let's get into Basha football then, one of the main sports here on campus. You're a part of that. You guys are having an outstanding season.
That's
so
an
far.
understatement.
Oh, for sure. You guys have dominated every game you've played in. You had a close loss to the number 10 team in the country with Mission Viejo.
I think they moved up now, too. I think they're number 8.
So you guys have had this competitive season so far. You're doing great, and you're going into an in-region battle against Chandler High School this Friday. What are you guys doing to get ready for that game?
We're just prepping ourselves mentally. and physically. They're a pretty solid team. You know, they're Chandler High School, so you know they always pack a punch. And you know, our run game, we're gonna get them with that one right there. And you know, we always have Brody, so he can get in that pass game as well.
Some smash mouth football, I see. Yeah.
We had on Cade Price last season, you know, one of your fellow offensive linemen. We talked to him a lot about the team and kind of what the O-line does to really bond together and grow. I want your input on that. Cade has his own, but I want to hear what you think. Tell me a little bit about your O-line and what you guys are like.
You know, we're a group of guys that we're really tight with each other. You know, we're definitely a family inside of a family. You know, we always go out to eat on Thursday, Cogburns. You know, 85-cent wings now, you know, inflation. So, yeah, you know, we're always out to eat, us big guys, you know, we love food. So that's our thing right there. Go every Thursday, go have a nice meal with each other. It's nice.
Who started that? Was that a senior when you started that?
My it was long before I was even here.
Okay.
I think it was the start of James Duran's freshman year. Shout out James.
He's doing his thing up there.
Oh, yeah, he's doing great out there. Started his freshman year, I believe, and it just carried on ever since. And, you know, it's just a great tradition to have with the guys.
Have you taught the younger guys, like the juniors and sophomores on varsity?
Absolutely. You know, they know what the standard is with our traditions. You know, we have team dinners a lot. So.
Do you have like a favorite time you guys went out to Cogburns?
Probably the last time I ever went with the state championship offensive line. We had a phenomenal time with each other, you know, laughing because all these guys are graduating early in December, and we were just having a great time laughing, joking around, all these memories, and, you know, that's the stuff that really stuck with me, especially as a younger guy in that group. It was truly great.
How many wings can like one of you down to? Like 20, 30?
That state championship group right there, I think the most anyone's ever gotten was 30. Yeah. 30 wings.
30 wings.
Yeah, but I feel like now
That's 15 chickens.
Yeah. I feel like now I'm the one that gets the most wings.
How many are you down in?
In one sitting at Cogburns, I'm definitely down in a good 20. If I'm feeling good, maybe 25.
Goodness.
That's respectable. That's respectable. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, and probably the best flavor they have over there by far is their hot honey. It's great.
Bro, honey on wings. Oh my gosh.
With that type of tradition, you guys have that. Have you started any traditions of your own that aren't going out to eat, say anything like outside of the field?
You know, I have my own personal tradition. Every Friday before the game, we have to go do our walkthrough before the game. I'll go and I'll read my favorite Bible verse, and I'll just honestly just take a nap. I'll take a nap, then before I hit the road to go back to school, I'll read my favorite Bible verse.
All right. Thank you for that little introduction, Sam. But tell us a little bit more about Basha Football and their season so far. What are you guys going through? How are you guys feeling? Just tell us a little bit more about the team as a whole.
The team as a whole, you know, we're off to a great start. You know, like you said, 7-1, and we only lost at 3 points by now the number 8 team in the nation. That was a great game. I'm sure you both saw. We had a great game on the ground, and ever since then we've just kind of been picking up the run game, and you know the pass game has always been there. We got great guys like Gio Richardson, Dash Blake, Cash Brock, and even Brody Veers. Everyone was worried about him, and you know
I think he's proved everyone wrong.
Yeah,
honestly, this season.
Everybody wrong.
So you guys are feeling good then so far?
We're feeling phenomenal.
Do you think that's really been your identity this season, is the run game?
I feel like we're more of a balanced team, for sure. You know, like our offensive coordinator, he is more of a air raid guy, but he does like to run the ball a lot too.
I mean, when you got Noah Roberts behind the line, I mean, it's hard not to run the ball, right?
Yeah, we got Noah Roberts and Josh Gaines. You know, people have dubbed them the name Thunder and Lightning.
Oh, I like that.
Yep, because Noah has his speed and Josh has his power, even though Josh, he's a fast one too.
Would you say that you have a pretty close connection with your running backs?
I would like to say I do, you know, especially with Josh. You know, he's a transfer, so he had to sit 5 games. So throughout those 5 games, we definitely bonded a lot. And, you know, I had to play him a couple times. He was at a rival school, Hamilton, so our defense had to get prepared for him. And ever since then, he's always loved us as our offensive line. He knows what it takes to make them look great. So he really does. He appreciates us, and he gives us the love that we need.
I mean, you're making his job easier out there, so I mean, he has to love you guys, right?
Yep. It's just our job. It's what we do.
And you mentioned Brody Veers, right? He's risen to the occasion. He's blown everybody's expectations out of the water. He's done a great job so far at QB this year.
He's only a junior too. Think about that.
Exactly. Coming into the shoes of DeMond Williams Jr., and there was so much talk about all of this. Well, who's going to fill? Are the Bears still going to be the team that they were? You've switched quarterbacks now your senior year, so you've only got 1 year with Brody. How are you looking to make the best of that?
I'm really just trying to make sure Brody stays healthy. He only has 2 years as a starter, and I want to make sure he gets those full 2 years. But filling DeMond's shoes that's a pretty big spot to fill right there. And he's definitely, like you said, he's definitely risen to the occasion, and he's definitely doing his thing out there.
You think you built a really strong connection with Brody this year?
I like to say I would. We're I used to play left tackle, so all spring ball.
Blindside.
Yep, I was his blind side, so he made sure that we had a good connection. And switching from left tackle to right guard, we still kept that connection.
Tell me a little bit more about Brody. Give me an insight into him as a person, his mentality out on the field.
He's definitely a leader out on the field. He's a God-driven kid. Like I said, he's a leader on the field, off the field, even in the classroom. He's a great kid in the classroom. You can go around and ask any of his teachers. They say he's a great kid. Love to have him in the classroom.
Do you enjoy that feeling as well, being around him? Is he somebody that helps boost the team's morale?
Oh yeah, even when you're feeling down, he'll come to you and he'll crack a joke. He's a funny guy, so he'll crack a joke and then he'll just get you going.
Do you take any of that into your own experience as a leader of the offensive line?
Yeah, we throughout the past couple years, we've been battling some, our offensive line has always been older. We've always had a lot of juniors and seniors and maybe like a sophomore. As of right now, we have a full senior offensive line and one junior, Jake Odebrand. He's doing his thing out there as well. But, just got to enjoy the time we got with each other and try to bring light to everything.
Gavin, you got anything else you want to ask?
Honestly, I feel like I just want to know how you're influencing the team, knowing that this is a mostly senior-driven team, right? So how are you helping them prepare for the future?
I'm trying to get the younger kids to start stepping up in leadership roles, like our guy Tony Tahi, great defensive lineman. He's a stud. So I'm trying to get him to, try to take more leadership. And we got our junior guys like David and just honestly, that whole junior class has really taken and gone up a step in the leadership role. So I feel like they're all on the same level. They all trust each other and they all connect with each other.
How much of an impact do your coaches like Coach Kelly make on you and that leadership role that you guys are taking on?
Coach Kelly, that's a character right there. I love that guy. But leadership, he's definitely shown what it's like to be a leader. From being an offensive line coach, he knows that he has to lead a group of guys that don't really get too much love. And when things go bad, we're the first group to.
It's the dogs in the trenches.
Yeah.
It's like an AC unit. No one ever notices it until it goes wrong. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
Thank
what?
you. That's a great reference right there. I love that.
Everyone says that. Come on.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, come on. You don't know ball then if you haven't heard that. Come on. You're wearing a basketball jersey. Well, I guess I'm wearing a baseball jacket, but.
Okay. I'll put that down. I'll use that in the future.
It's like the toothpaste coming out of the tube.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin McCabe, previous guest on the show, for that one. Another great expression. And then I just kind of have a final question for you about Coach Kelly, and that's what impact has he made on you as a player, and how is that going to affect you when you go off into college and keep on playing?
Coach Kelly, he sent a lot of people to the collegiate level, some that have gone past and to the professional level. If you ever go into his classroom, on his walls, he has a bunch of pictures of people, not even just football players, and not even just offensive linemen. He has wide receivers, safeties, DBs, running backs, even some track stars that have gone D1 level.
So he's pretty decorated.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, he's, in my opinion, and even in a lot of other people's opinions, he's the best offensive line coach, I feel like, in the state. Definitely one of the best coaches in the state as well.
For sure.
Yep.
Those are definitely some big shoes.
Yeah.
I mean,
did he help you get over to New Mexico State, the college that you committed to yesterday?
Coach Kelly has definitely helped me through my whole recruiting process. You know, he's trained me all 4 years. He's definitely been one of those guys that have been a big part of my recruitment and just my life in general. You know, he's I've never told him this, but I've told this to my parents. He's definitely like my on-field dad. Mm-hmm. He's someone I could go to if I need something. And you know, with recruiting, I always ask him questions like, "Hey, how do you feel about me going here or me taking this path?" And he's always led me through the right direction.
It's great to hear.
Going on to New Mexico State, how excited are you to continue playing at a collegiate level?
Oh, I'm very excited. You know, their schedule next year, it's pretty rough. They got Tennessee and Tulsa. So, you know, both
Volunteers are going to be a tough game.
Yeah, they're both away games. So that'll be a good one. But, you know, my goal freshman year is to at least make the travel squad, see what it's like on the road, and, you know, just go out there and make a name for myself.
I like to hear that. One final thing about football I have for you is you guys continue to move closer and closer to the Open Division playoffs. There's been some questions with some of the rankings put out there, and I've talked to Coach Mack and some of the other players on the team. They said they're not too concerned with the rankings right now. There's a lot of time still before the playoffs. But when they originally came out, you guys are the #1 team in 6A. You were ranked 4th in the Open with 3 5A teams above you guys. I would argue that you guys are the best team in the state.
Does that fuel you guys going into the playoffs?
Oh, for sure it does. But, you know, it's some adversity we have to face, but no one's too worried about that because, you know, once we get to the playoffs, it always evens itself out.
Is there any team, though, you know, to go back to my point then, is there any team that you guys are still looking to knock off or that you have down on your list as like, man, that's going to be a tough game coming up?
You know, no one ever really thinks like it's a tough game coming up. Everyone's like, okay, that's going to be a hard-fought battle. You know, such as Liberty. They're a phenomenal team. Always #1 or #2 in the state. They've had one down year. So, you know, it's always us and them. But, you know, past couple, I believe 4 years ago, you know, it was always Hamilton and Chandler.
Feels like it's kind of shifted its weight now.
Yeah, it's definitely moved over here, you know, out in Peoria, and here are definitely the schools to be. But, you know, those are definitely the games that people are looking forward to.
All right, let's shift gears then, past football. Sam, I don't know how much you pay attention to some of the other sports here at Basha, so feel free to hop in or add anything that you want to add. But one thing I want to mention really quickly, because we missed it in our weekly news last week, but Basha Swim went to the Charger Invitational. And if you don't know these invitational swim meets, as they're called, that's like, I guess it's basically the playoffs, right? As you work through those, and then you get to a state meet. And we actually won first place overall at the Charger meet, which is really great because we haven't placed that high in any of our invites in the past.
All of our sports are really looking up at this point, really.
Everything here at Basha on campus has been great. It's so exciting to see, but I just wanted to add that little shout out to swim because we missed that, and it's a huge accomplishment. Even though swimming's not the biggest sport here, it's something we
Hey, you got to shout them out. I mean, if you win first place there, like, come on.
Absolutely.
It's a big thing to win. We also have basketball season coming up soon. We're about a month away. We still have star point guard Mason McGee coming up. How excited are you guys to watch that again?
Oh, absolutely. You know, he's a great kid on the court, so, you know, he's definitely next level guy.
Gavin?
I'm hoping for a great game like we had last year, Perry and Basha. I'm hoping for an amazing game. Last year it was lights out. It was like, I don't know, it was like a fiesta out there, you know.
That was a great game.
You can make a whole documentary about that game. The ending, you know, a down to the wire finish, the rivalry over the years, co-op heat.
It rivals across every single sport here. I mean, come on, like Basha Perry, it's like it's the rivalry to watch in Arizona.
Absolutely, especially from softball, you know, those two teams, and even basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really big rivalries.
Mm-hmm. We also had track season finishing up, or cross country, excuse me. They're similar, a lot of running and whatnot.
I mean,
but we had a lot of racers do really great in that, and cross country is something that I think, I just mix them up, but I think that that's something that people will kind of conflate as the same thing sometimes, is like track and cross country. but those are two different sports and two different seasons full of practice.
Oh, it's like two completely different sports. I mean, cross country, you're going for the endurance, where it's track. Like, yeah, you might have the endurance by the 4x4, but you have the 100 meters, and you're done. That's it.
So they've been doing excellent out there as well. And we also have some other winter sports coming up. Gavin, you want to give us any insight or anything that you're looking forward to with those?
Honestly, the main sport I'm looking to is basketball this year. I'm really seeing how this Basha basketball team can go, men's and women's. You know, I want to see them face the adversity going against these good teams such as Perry. I want to see how they face each other going into the season.
Sam, you got any other sports you're looking forward to right now?
You know, like you said, winter, you know, basketball is always the sport to go watch. You know, when we get into spring, I like to go out to a couple track meets, see my guys throw. You know, we have a bunch of the offensive linemen that go and throw because Coach Kelly is the throwers coach. So I go watch them a couple times
and some sprinters on the football team too.
Yeah, you know, track's a big part of that. Can't wait to see what softball does this year.
Yeah, they were exciting last year with Gabriela Garcia.
Also a guest on this podcast.
Unfortunate, they had some injuries right near the playoffs that kind of affected
It's just
them.
unfortunate.
Yeah. That's the worst part about high school sports. I mean, any sports you don't really want to see injuries, but high school's the worst because it's not like...
It's 4 years and you're done. Like,
exactly, and it's not like you're watching the one athlete that you really don't like who always beats your team. It's like, that's somebody else's kid out there, and now they're
It's just another kid playing the sport that everyone loves.
Exactly. All right, well, thank you for joining us today on Campus Update, Sam. We appreciate you coming on. Maybe we'll have you come back again, you know, before you finish.
Maybe we'll revisit during the championship. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see once you guys win state and everything. Not to jinx it, but you know, once you win state. Coming up next, we have our next new segment here on Table Talk called Real World, Real Take, where we talk all the sports going on around the world. Here we are, Gavin. Real world, real take. Time to finally talk some professional and collegiate.
Feels good. I mean, everyone knows all this. I mean, sure, we got all the Basha students watching this, but you might have some Perry kids, Hamilton, watching this, and they might. I mean, they know who Mason McGee is, but they might not know who some of the offensive linemen were that maybe Sam was mentioning. But it feels good to really talk about these athletes that everyone knows, the teams that everyone knows. And I mean, you're wearing a Lakers jersey, so I think you were ready for this segment, right?
You know, you could say I was a little bit ready. They had a great game last night.
And I see that special little number 6 over there. I mean,
the GOAT's number?
Sure. I mean, yeah, if you want to say so. But you might have to flip it around.
For Bronny James, yeah. Let me tell you guys, stay tuned for our Burnt Bear Hot Take segment. It may or may not relate to Bronny James, but let's get into some Arizona sports right now. The Arizona Cardinals, they've been having a kind of iffy season.
It's a wishy-washy season. I mean, this is what I expected. No one really thought they were going to be good this year, but they were definitely an underdog team. Close win against the Chargers coming in late. Chargers really had that game in the bag. I think it was really the Cardinals coming back with a win. What I really think they got to work on is that connection with Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. It's looked off all season. One game, I mean, Marvin Harrison had, 3-4 catches for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's really it. I mean, I feel like Kyler Murray he's been off all year. Trey McBride also has been almost invisible the whole year. Sure, I had him in fantasy, but I traded him away because he was invisible, basically. That's what I would say. He was the number 1 target last year, led the team with over 900 yards, I think 5 or 6 touchdowns. But Cardinals just really got to figure it out on offense, on defense especially, too. I mean, their defense has been atrocious.
As a fan, do you find it difficult sometimes to accept the fact that your team isn't going to be as polar? And what I mean by that is they're not going to win, they're not going to have like a 15-2 or 15-3 record.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely
0-16.
Yeah.
Like, how do you as a fan accept the fact that the Cardinals have a high likelihood of like going pretty
9-8, 8-9 maybe?
Exactly.
I mean, it's just the reality of sports. You got to come to it. I mean, sure, they're not always going to be the 2015 Panthers going 15-1 or the 2016 Browns going 0-16.
Exactly.
Like, not every team's going to be like that. Obviously, you have your Carolina Panthers this year, probably going to win 2 or 3 games, and you have the Chiefs who are still undefeated at 6-0. So, I mean, obviously being a fan of those teams is pretty good or pretty bad. But then being a fan of most teams, 30 out of 32 teams, you just got to accept that you're not going to win 15 games like that. You just got to know it's a long season. Obviously, we're only in week 8 now.
Yeah.
So you got to know it's a long season, lots of injuries, lots of battles you got to go. I mean, I think the Cardinals got it. I think the NFC is tougher than it was on paper going into the season. I mean, Vikings came out of nowhere and are definitely a contender, but I think the Cardinals have their work cut out for them.
I saw trade rumors with the Vikings that they're talking to the Rams, and this isn't confirmed. I'm not an NFL insider. I don't have any inside
Talking about
sources.
Cooper Kupp?
No, I saw rumors that the Rams and Vikings are potentially talking about trading Sam Darnold for Matthew Stafford.
You saw that?
I saw rumors about that.
Wow, that's...
yeah. Now, like I said, I'm not an insider. I can't guarantee.
I mean, rumors are always the start of everything. So,
if you think about it, though, it also,
you could get Matthew Stafford there to kind of guide JJ McCarthy through his injury coming back. Because Matthew Stafford's a dude. When it goes to coming back from injuries, that one play against the Browns 10 years ago, dislocated his shoulder, won the game on the drive. Come on, how can you not advocate for that guy?
And with age as well, he's got a few years left, maybe
2 or 3.
Sending him over to the Vikings with a young quarterback like J.J. McCarthy.
Rams have a young roster over there. They got Puka. Cooper Kupp's obviously aging, but a bunch of young guys on offense. Kyron Williams over there, Blake Corum. Just plug in a dude like Sam Darnold who's playing his lights out right
football,
now.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in between the two. He's not at the end of his career. He's in the middle of his career. So sending him to a team
he's only, 27? He's not even as old as Joe Burrow right now.
27 or 29. It's one of those numbers. And
yeah.
He's right there. You plug him into a team like the Rams that already have a lot of talent with them, but, they're struggling with Stafford as that aging QB. I think that it could work out. If that does happen, I would be interested to see.
Maybe another Goff, Matthew Stafford, just like we saw when they won the Super Bowl.
True. I just don't know if that would kill the Vikings' momentum, though. Yes, they lost in a close game to the Lions, but before that, they were undefeated. So switching out a quarterback, even if Sam Darnold isn't doing everything the Vikings want, I don't know if that would really take a lot away, plugging in a new QB who doesn't know their system.
What I think is if Matthew Stafford came in there, his floor is higher than Sam Darnold's, and I think his ceiling is definitely higher, but that gives him more room for error. Whereas Sam Darnold, you kind of know what you're going to get, but he also feels kind of bipolar at the same time. You might get the Sam Darnold that was seeing ghosts back in 2019, 0 touchdowns, 3 interception games. Or you might get the touchdown interception record that you're getting now with him, where he may have been having 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yep.
Stafford gives you the drive. He gives you he makes his guys want to go. He's really the reason. He's one of the biggest reasons that they won the Super Bowl back in 2021. Without Stafford having the, the drive to go and win with that team. He'll get knocked down even though he's 36. He'll get back up and he might have dislocated his shoulder. He doesn't care. He'll go out there. He wants to win.
I'm interested to see if that'll happen and whatever happens with the rest of the NFL.
I'm going to keep up with that because I definitely want to see that.
It's they're a third of the way basically, maybe a little bit more than through the regular season, and I'm interested to see where some of the teams will end up. The Chiefs being undefeated right now,
don't even get me
battling
started.
So many injuries, and the DeAndre Hopkins trade that just went through. He's
this morning
over to the Chiefs from the Titans. If the Chiefs receiver room can get healthy, I don't see any other team.
You got DeAndre Hopkins. You'll have Hollywood Brown for the playoffs. Rashee Rice, he might come back. He's not ruled completely out.
Mm-hmm.
And if Travis Kelce can wake up, I think he's over there, old man snoozing on the bed. Dude, he's how old is he? 33, 34?
Yeah, he's mid-30s.
I don't even think he has a touchdown this year.
If he does, he might only have 1. So he definitely has.
I don't know what Taylor Swift did to him, but I blame you, Taylor Swift.
His dominancy that he's had in previous years.
I think it might be coming to an end.
Maybe. We'll see. And then I know you mentioned my jersey, right? LeBron and the Lakers. It was opening night for the NBA last night.
Special night.
Very, very special night. LeBron and Bronny James went out to play together.
That moment was insane. Seeing them check in together, the crowd went insane. I think Ronaldo was there too.
I saw there was a lot of people there. And the Suns, they're starting. I'm excited to see this season.
I am too.
There's been a lot of issues, in my opinion, with the Suns.
I think we kind of. I think they flattened them out this year, or this off season. I think we kind of flattened them out.
I didn't necessarily like the way that they restructured the team when they traded a bunch of their players, traded a bunch of their picks. Got rid of Monty Williams, really restructured around KD and Booker. I think Booker obviously is somebody that you got to really stick with. But
you can't let him go. You got to keep him. He's a franchise dude.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the KD trade, and it hasn't gotten that short-term success that I think that they were really looking for. And
I think it kind of started with the Bradley Beal trade. I mean, he's not the dude you got to go out there and get. Like, come on.
Yeah. This will be an interesting season to see if they can, actually finally turn that around.
I mean, we got a steal in the draft with Ryan Dunn. I mean, best defensive prospect in the draft, maybe in recent memory too. But, I mean, and we got Tyus Jones coming over from Washington. I mean, he's going to be that solid number one guy. We had Bradley Beal and Devin Booker taking the ball up the court. They're not playmakers. They're scorers. That's why I felt like every time we had the ball, it was ISO, and like everyone was just standing around watching the Devin Booker get the ball stolen from Anthony Edwards. Like, come on, that's why that playoff series was almost unbearable to watch.
So you're feeling good about the Suns this year?
I think so. Yeah, I think we kind of smoothed out all the holes that we had.
I'm excited to see that. As a Lakers fan, obviously I want LeBron and all of them to go out there.
Don't forget about Connect too.
Dalton Connect. What a steal that the Lakers got in the draft. I'm so surprised nobody else took him. He's shown out to be a great star. He's definitely going to be able to fill into the team a lot more. But everybody on the Lakers right now, I think last night was such a great game. And this isn't a Lakers podcast, so I won't get too deep.
I bet you wish it was, don't you? You could get into Braun all day.
They played a great game last night. Keep an eye on that team this year. I think behind J.J. Redick.
Oh, definitely. I mean, come on. You got Redick at head coach.
I mean,
basically LeBron at coach too.
Okay, well, I think.
Come on, you know.
No, I think J.J. Redick. I disagree with you there. I think J.J. Redick.
He's going to be out there with the whiteboard. He's going to say, "Let LeBron do whatever he wants."
I think he'll stand his ground. If you watch their
his ground at 6 foot tall.
Okay.
Against LeBron.
Hold. They had a podcast together, right?
Oh, don't even get me started on the podcast.
And I like the way where like Redick would actually have like viewpoints on something, and he would fight LeBron. No, but he would stand his ground. He'd make his point, and I think as a coach, he has that level of like, I'm not as flimsy. I'm not going to really bend to what you say. Now, I'm not saying that LeBron doesn't have an in with him. Clearly, the two were friends before he became the head coach, but I think some people think it's like, it's LeBron's puppet. He controls that.
Well, I wouldn't say that. He's kind of, I don't know. It's just like
he's better than Darvin Ham.
Well, yeah, a stone, like a rock with eyes on it would have been better than Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham wasn't doing anything.
The poor Bucks. They've got Doc and Darvin Ham now.
I don't know what the Bucks are doing. Their defense crumbled last year. That was their real identity for the past 3-4 years. That's what won them the championship against the Suns. That's what the game ended on. Yep. Game 6 ended on that steal off Booker. And then the dunk with Giannis. But I don't know. The Bucks I feel like they don't have an identity now. I don't know. They've been a defensive team. They have Brook Lopez there. He didn't play well last year. Giannis, obviously, he's going to be putting up MVP numbers. We really need to be talking about Giannis in the all-time great conversation now, not just present-time great. He's putting up MVP numbers, dude, and he's not even being considered anymore. Giannis, yes. The free throw merchant.
Let me take 10 seconds to spin
13
the ball.
seconds, actually.
Okay, my mistake. No, not all-time greats. Come on.
He's putting up almost dude, he's averaging like 12, 13 rebounds a game, almost 30 points a game. He's averaging good assists, too, like 5, 6. Like, come on. That's better than LeBron.
The greatest of all time.
No. I'm not saying all time. All-time great. Like, an all-time great.
What's the difference between greatest of all time and all-time great?
An all-time great. Like, let's say, like, Larry Bird obviously isn't the greatest of all time, but he's an all-time great.
He's up there, okay.
Like that.
Yeah, so you're saying he's up there.
He needs to be up there. Like, obviously, for the Bucks, he's, like, up there with, like, Oscar Robertson and all that and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Mm-hmm. But, like, he needs to be up there for, like, all-time great in the NBA.
Sure.
Like, top 75. Come on.
Okay, I'll put him top 100. I'm not going to get, too into that. And then give us a little insight to the MLB. I know that you're a big baseball fan. The World Series is upon us. What did you think about how the matchup ended up being?
This is probably the worst matchup I've seen in the last, how many years have I been alive? 17 years. So worst I've ever witnessed. Dodgers, Yankees. No one wants to see. They basically paid for it. Both teams I think have over $1 billion on payroll. Dodgers just paid Shohei Ohtani over $1 billion.
That's a stupid amount of money.
And Yamamoto, the other dude they got from Japan, like, he did well this year, but like not $1 billion, not $1 billion plus worth.
So you don't like either team. Who are you rooting for then?
I hope both teams lose.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for. I hope that it gets shut down.
All right.
That's what I'm gonna bet on the under for every single game.
You dislike both teams that
Oh
much?
yeah, I dislike the Dodgers immensely. I mean, they knocked my Cardinals out of the playoffs. What was it, 2021 wild card? Some no-name freaking hit a home run Game 3. It pissed me off. But
well, I'm sorry to hear that about your team. I'm not the biggest fan of the matchup either. I kind of thought.
I honestly don't think anyone is. I mean, only Dodgers and Yankees fans, but they're on complete opposite sides of the country.
We almost had a Subway Series, right?
That would have been okay. Now that would have been cool. Even though I don't like the Yankees, that would have been cool seeing the Mets and Yankees go up against each other.
Do you think like in New York though, there's like fans that are like basically fans of both teams? So like,
I mean, yeah, they're right they're right there. Come on, like
going to like the World Series, like yeah, we win no matter what. Like I wonder what that dynamic's like.
Well, there is a dude playing in the World Series this year. I don't know his name. I think he's some minor league dude. He played for the Dodgers for the first 5 games of the season, got dropped, signed by the Yankees, and he played 2 or 3 major league games and got sent back. But because he played in the major league a few games, he gets a ring either way.
Oh, that's sick.
So I think he's probably just going to sit out. I mean, he's like, I win either way. So, I mean, you can't drop me. I still get a ring.
All right. That's all we have today for Real World, Real Takes, our new segment where we talk all sports going on around the world. Stay tuned because coming up next, we have our Burnt Bear Hot Take.
We get some real takes, but let's get some hot takes in here.
I like that. Here it is. Take a look up at our screen, Gavin.
I told you when you had it flipped upside down.
Is Bronny James a GOAT? A future GOAT? An all-time great, as you would put
How many
it?
words do you want me to describe? I'll give you one.
Give me one. No, give me more than one.
Definitely not.
Okay. Look,
What does he do better than anyone else?
You know, this is kind of like a clickbaity, like, you know, you really
Yeah, it's Bronny. Come on.
Like Bronny. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be the GOAT. I don't think anybody thinks that he's going to be the next
I mean, who's his dad, though?
But I do think that he has some potential that a lot of the media is downplaying. He gets so much attention, and so much of it is how bad he is. And it's like, that's
well, it's because they expect him to be LeBron out there. Like, I mean, but he's also not playing well at all. Like,
okay,
he had the worst plus-minus in the preseason.
He had the best stat line for a 55th pick in the preseason ever.
There's a reason he was the 55th pick.
Exactly. Once again, he gets so much negative attention. He wasn't a first overall, pick. He was a 55th draft pick. He's going to come in, and he's taking it as an experience, an opportunity to learn, right? Most people, and it is unfortunate that this is the way the world works, but most people will go to college. They'll play there. Then they could potentially go to the NBA. Then they probably go to the G League, and if they're really good, they can make it to the actual league. Bronny gets to kind of bypass that because of his dad. He gets to skip ahead, go straight into the league. But I think that will help his development a lot as a player, being around that environment. He went in for 3 minutes yesterday, which isn't a lot of time.
I mean, it's 3 minutes. Like, he got the 3 minutes for a reason. It's not like he played the whole game, obviously.
No.
He's not in the starting rotation.
But he's getting that experience. He's out there on the court playing with these guys. And I think that it's so – I mean, literally, he's not his dad. He played 1 year of college.
Yeah.
If you – like,
and he's not even the same build at all. Like, come on.
He's obviously not going to be an NBA caliber player. I'll agree. I would agree with anybody who says that. I don't think that he's NBA caliber yet. I think you give him maybe the 3-4 years that he would have spent in college.
He definitely should have been there.
In the NBA, I don't think you've seen a player really develop like that. Like a player basically skip college just to not like LeBron who was already NBA level. But
he was NBA level at like 17 years, like our age. He was NBA level at our age.
If players can progress through teams in college, then there's no reason that players shouldn't be able to progress through teams in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to see how he does turn out. I think that he could be a good player. I think he has the potential. Obviously, he has the genetics, and it's not like he's the worst basketball player ever.
Obviously. I mean, he was playing at the college level for a reason.
And he had I think he had a heart attack, right? Or he had
cardiac arrest, yeah.
Like during his season there. So he's gone through
before his season even started. It was at a practice. So he didn't even get to go into the season fully healthy.
Bronny James may not be the future GOAT, but I do think that he's gotten so much negative attention from the media that anytime he messes up, it's like a big spotlight. And you can't be mad about that. Of course that's going to happen when your dad is LeBron
James.
But when you
the GOAT.
When you think about all of it in perspective and how many other 55th draft picks have gone into the league, and you compare them and what situation Bronny's in, surrounded by what people, I think that you're going to see him be a decent NBA player. You can't rush it. Now that he's in the league, let him develop, let him watch from the bench, let him go to the practice, let him get in for a few minutes in garbage time to get some, experience out there.
It's all about the reps. Even like the mental rep. Like sure, the mental reps in practice could get you all you want, but nothing's like being out there. Like especially at the NBA level, these are the best dudes in the world. Like there's 15 dudes over there that are the best dudes playing basketball. Period. That's it.
I'm waiting for this is really Laker LeBron fanboy of me, but I'm waiting for Bronny to throw up an alley-oop to LeBron Sr. That would be the coolest thing ever in sports.
Oh, it would. But I'm not. I don't know. I've just had so much of Bronny and LeBron.
Yeah. People get tired of it. I think that's what a lot of the early LeBron haters, when he's a 17-year-old kid, it's nope. People don't like to hear about him. They see him so much. He's hyped up to be greater than any other basketball player ever, and people just get tired of that media attention.
It was almost like the same thing with Victor Wembanyama, because I kind of got tired of that as well.
We're playing into that narrative right now, right? Talking about him, so it's kind of like a catch-22. You've got to talk about him because he's Bronny, but then you talk about him so much, people get tired of it.
Exactly. It's kind of a lose-lose situation.
And to round out this talk about, the James family, I was seeing yesterday on Twitter that LeBron is speculated. I believe he has a 2-year deal with the Lakers right now, so he has this season and next season.
Mm-hmm.
There are rumors he may stay for 3, so he would stay for 3 more seasons. Now, Bryce James, his other son, is a senior in high school right now.
So we could see a Bronny, LeBron team up.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, call me crazy.
That's not conspiracy. That's just could happen.
I think LeBron will stay in the league. I think Bryce will do the same thing Bronny did. I think Bryce will play a year in college.
I think Bryce will be better.
I think he'll get drafted into the league, and I think that we could see 3 James members all out on the court for LeBron's farewell tour season. Could you imagine if LeBron won a championship with his kids?
It would
Does
be
the Jordan debate even exist after that?
Well, okay. I don't know if that adds to that debate, but we'll save that for another time. I mean, that's obviously a hot debate everywhere, but I feel like if we're going to add that to the GOAT debate, I feel like we can't, obviously Michael Jordan didn't have he didn't have 2 sons who were able to play at this level.
Yep.
So,
I mean, some people think who do they think Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's son? Have you heard those rumors?
I've heard more rumors about Anthony Edwards.
I've heard Anthony Edwards as well.
I mean, he plays more like him. They're around the same height, play the same style. I mean, both are pretty bad at three-point shooting. I mean,
well, I guess that wraps up our first little segment of our Burnt Bear Hot Take of the Week on Season 2 of Table Talk.
I know this is like a hot take everywhere, but things are obviously going to heat up from here on out.
Oh, yeah. Every take, it's going to get hotter and hotter each week. Maybe we make Gavin, eat wings. I don't know.
Hey, I'm down. I mean, maybe we'll get Sam back in here. Yeah. We'll get some wings going.
He can bring in his favorite pair of wings from Cogburns.
Yeah.
We should do that as a challenge, though, one day. We should see if you can eat, 30 wings in an hour.
30 wings in an hour?
That's what, that's 1 wing every 2 minutes?
That doesn't sound that bad, but, I mean, then you got to think it's 30 wings. That's 15 chickens that would be eaten there.
That's a lot, for sure.
A lot of chickens.
But thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Table Talk with Sam Garcia coming on as our special guest. Thank you to him for coming on. Thank you once again to STN for giving us the first place podcast award.
It really boosted everything. I mean, come on.
Really
there's a reason we got the studio over here.
Yeah, we have a TV.
We have a TV now, guys. We have a real table.
We have a plant. This was a big thing behind the scenes. There was a lot of people out there who didn't want the plant. I was a big fan of this plant. So I'm also a fan of the plant. Leave a comment down below if you like the plant. Let us know if you.
Does the plant stay? More plants?
That's all for now. I'm Jaden Ricken.
And I'm Gavin Wilson.
We'll see you guys next time.